Previously on Ashton Corners, we're gonna take a look. We ended up grabbing the John Deere 560M with the 3 bale accumulator. All right, and just like that, we've made ourselves another $3,689. All right, so we just hopped in the baler. We started going around. We're working on the end rows here. That's gonna get a little bit pricey, so we're now looking into a situation of having to get a loan where we actually might be able to get away with this. Now, the required horsepower is going to be that 275 horsepower. Our 8410 is in that 270 range, and you know what? I think we are. We're gonna go. There's $32,000 gone, and that brings us down to $64,000. Oh, $4,800 later. We got 4 pallets. Hopefully that'll get it.
I'm aware of the bonds that were created today. When you told me that sure there's a way. The water's so still and my pain has gone away. The air is much cleaner after it rained. Follow my love, the scent that's in spring air. Follow the moon into the sun. There's a call for new beginnings here. Let the sorrow of yester disappear. Let your body be new.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the King May YouTube channel. Today we are back on Ashton Corners trying to answer that question of can we survive creating a large dairy slash pig farm from scratch with only $1 million. And y'all, so far not going all that great. And well, so far it's been okay. Actually, we have gotten a lot of things done. A lot of corn harvest is done, but we still have a very big problem. I just filled up the 4455 with fuel, which thankfully on this map, when you do buy the farm, I'm not sure if it is every farm, well, the fuel is already full over there, which is great. We don't have to worry about buying fuel just as of yet, but we have an issue, and we have a $340,000 issue, and $340,175 to be exact. And that's the math that I have done on the remaining equipment that we need to purchase for our farm. And well, I have a little bit of a solution. Yep, that's right. You're looking at it. Bales. Lots of bales. We have an outrageous amount of bales as we're gonna try and get the old Ford pulled out of the fields here, which the one thing I am loving about FS25, to be honest with y'all, is the fact that if I don't get a super jacked up truck, it actually does struggle a little bit, as it would. These bales are heavy. This is a large load, and we got a lot of them. But anyways, as I'm pulling out of here, make sure you all go right now and hit that like button for me. And of course, if you haven't yet, subscribe. All right, aside from that, make sure you go ahead and tap that subscribe button as well for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. But we're gonna head on down the road, and well, the one thing that's really cool about Ashton Corners that I noticed kind of late, I was messing around trying to get things sort of caught up in between videos, and there actually is a straw shredder that got added in by MRG that is designed and meant for the corn stalk bales and the soybean bales. So you can take that straw and utilize it for both, as far as I'm seeing, TMR and for the cattle, and you can use that shredder to help you out with that. So we're gonna utilize that, but not yet. Can't quite do it yet. If you all remember from the last video, well, we actually did buy the farm and it had some cattle on it. We did go ahead and we sold those because, well, we need the money right now, and we need to try and build a solid foundation, a solid base. Oh my, we are literally crawling crawling up this hill. I'm not sure if we should really go this full from here out. Back to what I was saying, we want to get some cattle eventually, but we need to build a solid foundation, and we need the equipment to take care of our fields. Now, there's some equipment that I do have available to us via mods, and we are going to utilize them, and one of them being, well, it's mulching season. It's time for us to take a mulcher. We need to cut down the corn stalks and get that extra additional boost to the field. So we have a solution for that I would like to utilize, and we're going to do just that. But let's get these bales offloaded. Like I said, we have a very large $300 and essentially $41,000 problem that we need to solve and get taken care of today. I have a few different things that I want to do here, and hopefully try and stay out of debt, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. We might have to go into a little bit of debt here. And there we go, with an additional $5,089 in our account. We're up to $65,145 positive still. Now, granted, if we look at the finances, it's looking rather rough because we only started with $1 million, and all we have right now is 65 grand to our name, but we don't have a loan right now as of yet. As of right now, we're going to drive back to the farm here, if we can get through the traffic anyways, and we're going to start loading up some bales, and we're going to see what we can get as of right now. We might hold on to some hay bales just for early next year, but let me catch up with y'all when we get back to the farm here. All right, so like I was saying, we have a ton of bales that we are going to sell, but this little skid steer, although it's a great little unit, don't get me wrong, it is great, but we are going to use the power of mods to kind of help us out here a little bit. One of them is going to shine when we get to sleep tonight, so this is going to be leading into the next day here, and I'll show you what we're using to kind of help us out just a little bit. One of my plans to help us out, because, well, if we take a look at it, we spent about 35k. It was a little bit more with, I think, the bumper option that we had on there. I'm gonna try and get us some money back. So if we pull up our finance chart, it looks like if I were to sell that skid steer right now, we're gonna get $28,019 back into our accounts. But the new skid steer I was looking at is 20. Tell you what, that 8 grand right now, I think we're gonna do it. So give me a sec. All right, and just like that, we are now up to $72,600, and we spent $20,050 on this here Bobcat T300. Now, I did go with the wider track options, and the reason being is, well, it was getting a little bit tippy in the fields. I have been saving myself by the fact that we've been taking the Bobcat, just driving around the fields, picking up the bales that way. And the other one was wanting to be a little bit tippy. I did not roll it over yet, but it was bound to happen at some point or another. So we ended up getting this little unit right here, and we got money back into our account. Now we have to continue on with the rest of our issues, and well, that's the rest of our tillage equipment. We still need a planter, and well, we have a really nice gleaner combine that I am actually looking to keep and hold on to. So I actually don't want to get rid of the gleaner. I want to hold on to it, but we spent a lot of money on the folding 8-row header, and well, as much as I like that folding 8-row header, it makes it a lot nicer. Well, the smallest planter that we're looking to get as of right now, I'd like to get the Kinsey 12-row, and well, the 12-row is going to be weirdly offset with an 8-row for doing harvest. So we are going to continue on looking at how can we solve these solutions here. So again, if we pop back into the finance chart, it looks like we can actually still sell. If we sell it now, we can still sell that 8-row header that we've been using so far this year. Although it's been doing great, I'd like to match up 12-row to 12-row. If we come back down into here, we can take a look, because I did find the gleaner headers that I did not have before. And well, selling that one corn head can get us not only a 12-row gleaner corn head, it can also get us a 30-foot grain head for doing our soybeans that we still have to get off the field, and we're still going to get that soybean straw from it this year as well. All right, that looks a lot better. Now, I was a little bit worried about a 12-row header on this combine, but it is an N7. So we're gonna see how she runs. We're gonna see how it goes here. But for right now, we're just gonna pull back into the field because, well, it's starting to get kind of late, and I would like to get the bales sold before the end of the day. So we're gonna take a few trips, and by a few, well, I mean, we have quite a few, because I did the end rows in bales on the end of this last cornfield we have, and we got a lot of hay and a lot of alfalfa bales, and I counted up, I think we're at about 78 hay bales total between the grass fields and the alfalfa field, which was honestly really good. I was really impressed. We're still gonna have to look at that on whether or not we're going to go ahead and get alfalfa instead of grass on those strip fields, but I'm gonna go ahead. We are going to load up bales, and I'm gonna keep up with you guys and let you know with each trip that we take kind of where we're sitting as far as money, and then we're gonna move time ahead to tomorrow and show you the power of the new mod that we have that's gonna maybe help us out a little bit, hopefully anyways, because again, there's still chance that we're actually not going to get all the equipment on there that we want, but essentially it's kind of auto trader for farm sim, and well, I'm gonna take advantage of it. All right, not the greatest of stack jobs that I've ever done, but I tested the straps. They ought to hold. We just got to get down the road. So load 2 with a couple of hay bales, seems how they're literally right here. We got this field completely cleared up, so now we're just kind of starting to work on these hay fields over here that we baled up. So we got some corn stalk bales that we got to get off of here as well, but honestly, it's just gonna kind of be a mosh pit. We're gonna get load number 2 taken down to the store. All right, another $5,631. There we go. There's load 2. Let's get another one in. All right, load 3 in, $7,909. So we are getting a little bit more money with the hay, but we got to just keep rolling. So I'm gonna get a lot of this done here. Oh, looking a lot better though, but I'm gonna go ahead. Let's get the rest of these bales sold. I'm gonna catch up with y'all on the next day in game here. All right, y'all, it is the next day and we are back at it early this morning. Now I kind of wanted to go over the success that we had in selling those bales. I'm kind of excited about this. So this is the Ravage bale shredder that MRG has put into Ashton Corners here, and I'm excited for this thing. Now I did get it on sale and we saved quite a lot of money on this. I'm just gonna get it tucked away in here for right now. So we saved a good amount of money, and well, I talked about a mod just might help us. Now we haven't taken a look yet today. Needed to reset now that we are September 1st. So we're continuing on with fall, but let's go ahead and take a peek. Now, as you guys can see, did pretty good on selling bales. Now I have to admit, I did not sell all of them. We kept about 12 to 15 alfalfa bales for right now. As you can see, we're taking a peek at the used vehicle market. We are looking at what is on sale, and obviously that little skid steer that we sold back is currently on sale. Same with that 8-row corn head, but we have a lot more options available to us. So that's part of this mod. I'm rather excited because once in a while there should be other things that aren't just vehicles on sale in here. So that could be anything for pallets, such as like mineral feed, things like that. So I'm kind of excited to check out this mod and see how it goes. Now, not everything that we need currently right now is on here, but it's kind of hard to pass this little chopper corn head up because it is on sale for $10,000, and it currently only has about 19 hours on it. So not too bad, 56% off. So that problem that I was talking about as far as $340,000, well, that is for the rest of the needed or necessary equipment that we need. Now we can kind of spread things out a little bit. And again, coming back to this used vehicle sale, since we have more options available each day that passes up until next year, we have more opportunities for possibly getting some of this equipment on sale. And I don't know, y'all, seeing this $148,000, we're doing pretty good, but we need to keep overhead. So every day that passes, we are going to have maintenance. We're going to have things that are going on the farm. I'd like to keep around $100,000, which gives us about $50,000 to play at the moment. And unfortunately, we have a lot of tillage work that is coming up very quick. So we're not going to have much of a choice but to unfortunately go into debt. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to take out a loan, and hopefully we can pay it off fairly quick. Now, I want to keep it as minor of a loan as we can. So I'm thinking for right now, just to get us rolling, let's kind of wait on the rest of the things that we need for spring, try to do it as much as we can off of profit and as little as we can, and try to quickly pay off a small loan. I'm thinking we go ahead, let's bump this loan up here to, let's do 200,000 for right now. We're going to do a $200,000 loan. And again, let's just kind of get the minimal things. And if anything, let's go ahead and just try to pay that back off as quickly as possible. Taking a look at the shop, the first thing that I really need to look at is some sort of way to mulch. Now, we could go ahead, get a standard mulcher, but I've got something even better. So if I come down here and come back to the subsoilers, there's a specific tool in here that I have been looking for, and it only requires 165 horsepower, and our 8410 is about 270, 275 in horsepower range. We're going to go ahead and we're going to purchase this. So $32,959 down. We've got that taken care of. Now we need something else that goes along with it. And I think we go ahead, spend that 38,000. We go ahead and just get a big tank to try and minimize how much time we're driving back and forth. I want to stick with one. I think one will be fine. And I think we're going to go ahead and get the big beefy floater tires on here as well. All right, so there we go. $38,925 down again. And the next thing that I was wanting to get is a little seeder, because I would like to test out changing those fields over. Now, we still need a roller. I'm not necessarily worried about running a weeder at this time. I would like to eventually get ourselves a sprayer. However, if I can try and minimize the cost of this $24,000, if we need to, the co-op can come by, but if we can try and save ourselves that and utilize what we just bought, that would be exceptional. Plus, hopefully next year we'll be getting some cattle and starting to build some manure, in which we can try and get ourselves a nice cheap H&S manure spreader right here and utilize that instead. And of course, we already talked about it. We need to snag that grain header for $15,500 to get soybeans off the ground here, which raised the price a little bit to $16,000, but again, fairly cheap. I'm okay with it. All right, so we got that put away. Now, you know what, y'all? This thing, it's got 19.4 hours on it. It's a little rough, but you know what? We're saving money. We need to do it. We need to do it. And if you all notice, we are a little bit low. Well, we're not going to be lower yet, but we're going to hold on to what we have. We are going to spend the 10K here now. All right, there we go. $10,924. So we're going to have to go and pick up that chopper header. And unfortunately, we got nothing to pull it yet. And the reason being is I would like to do the pull behind chopper. It's going to be one of the cheapest options for us on our farm. It is going to be a little bit smaller. And yeah, we're going to have to, do the pull behind thing, which honestly, I'm okay with it. It's old school chopping. And to be quite honest, that's kind of what I'm used to, so I'm completely fine with that. Would I love to get a $500,000 chopper? Yeah, I would. But you know what? We're going to wait. Hopefully that mod will help us out, maybe give us a chopper for sale that's used. That would be the best thing to do to save us a ton of money. But for right now, we're probably just going to take the skid steer, load up that little pull behind chopper corn header that we just purchased for considerably cheaper, and we're just going to go that route. But I did call the co-op, so we're ripping on the beans. I went and I picked up the bean head here for the old gleaner, and I called the co-op, and well, they actually came out really quick. Surprisingly, I really got after harvest here a lot sooner than most of the other guys, so they already came out, at least for some of it. As far as I know, they already knocked out this little strip here to our left of corn, so that's taken care of. And the strip behind us back towards the farm, that little field is also done. So we're actually sitting rather pretty leading into September here. And I know if y'all have been playing Farm Sim, I grinded a lot of harvest, and so far the episodes have actually all been in August. We're only on September 1st, so I'm actually kind of excited about this. We're gonna get things done here pretty quick and be able to move ahead, which is what I'm looking forward to kind of get this series moving along, get it progressing, so that we can at least get ourselves hopefully in a successful position. Now, I know we took out a $200,000 loan. King, what are you doing? We were trying to stay out of debt. I know, but I said it from the beginning. I kind of projected laying out kind of the equipment that we need. This mod that I put in that adds the additional for sale equipment, I think that thing is going to be our absolute lifesaver. And even without that mod, the things that I am doing is the things that I've kind of always done on legitimate farm builds from ground zero, from scratch. And honestly, it just takes time. If you guys start simple, start small, and just don't worry about having all the biggest and best equipment, you can kind of get away with doing the exact same things that I'm doing right now. Just wait for equipment to come on sale. Yeah, you're going to pay a little bit in service right off the get-go. However, that service bill is still technically cheaper with a cheaper piece of equipment than buying it brand new. And honestly, it's the best way to go. So just stick small, stick to some cash cropping. And we got to talk about that. It's probably going to be next episode, but just to briefly touch on it now, I think we are going to go a little heavier on the soybeans next year. And the only reason for that is because soybeans at their highest, at least on Ashton, from what I've seen on the projections so far, is about $2,000 per 1,000 liters, which it takes quite a bit more soybeans to get those numbers up for your harvest. So we're gonna need more to make more money. And again, I'd like to start getting cattle, because the quicker we get cattle, the quicker we get free fertilization with the manure. I'd like to take advantage of that, but we had to sell off the cattle that we currently had because they were a little bit older. Yes, we got them with the farm, and yeah, it's kind of going backwards, but we really needed the money. It's better to start off making sure that we have a strong foundation, all the equipment that we need to get the most out of our fields, to make sure that we're taking care of our fields as best as we possibly can. That way we get all of the additional farm sim yield bonuses from our fields to get every bit that we possibly can out of our fields. That's the most critical thing. If we get that solid foundation, the rest is pretty easy. And especially with farm sim, the easiest way to just take care of your cattle and feed them is, well, make a little bit of hay. If you guys ever look at that piece of the menu, and you know what, let's take a look at it right now. I'll show you all. I know it's a little blank. It kind of looks weird. And again, I'm going to continue to apologize to you all for the ultra wide monitor that I have that I'm cutting. So it's on the right side of your screen. But if we take a look, if you feed your cattle, what these percentages mean down here, this is the amount of production you can get out of your cattle for each one of these, at least as far as total capacity effectiveness. So if you feed TMR, which is what we always shoot to do, you will get that 100%. That TMR is the best thing to do because it gives you the most production of milk, the most production of manure, slurry, the most productivity, and your cattle will breed more. So you're going to get more calves. You're going to get more bonus out of your cattle, but you can get away with doing average production. I would call it average, but if you just feed silage or hay, you get 80%. So after looking at that, and then again, you guys saw at the bottom there too, there was the 40% if you just feed them grass, which they will survive off just that. It's just the production's going to be slower, so they're not going to produce as many calves for you, so you're not going to get more head of cattle anytime quicker. It's just going to take a bit longer. You're also going to get a little bit less milk production, which means less money coming in. And again, I understand that too, that we want to grow a very large dairy farm operation here, which the more cattle that we have, the more milk we got coming in, the more money that we're going to make. And especially if we can get to that point, that milk coming in could very well take care of all of our operating costs that happen to pop up once every month or once every day that passes, which we want to get there, but we got to build that foundation first. So it's going to be a little bit of a grind here. That's why I'm kind of hoping to start with calves this upcoming year in game. If we can start with calves, I feel a lot more comfortable just feeding them hay, which makes it a lot easier for us to make sure that they're taken care of, because we're not worried about their production as calves, and it's going to take them time to grow. And if we give them that year or so in game, that'll give us some time to just continue to make sure we have everything set up for them as far as food for TMR and everything else. And as they're growing, we're going to want to make sure that we get plenty of silage for TMR, because as they get older, they're going to require more and more food. But I'm going to go ahead. We are knocking out this little strip of soybeans, getting this done. I'm going to see if we can do this hopefully on one full tank. And oh, I know my man B Myers out there, I know he's still watching the videos. He's going to be upset with me. I'm going to have to go back and hit those little spots and make sure I get every bit of soybean off this field. But we're going to finish this strip here. We're going to get this taken care of. That way we can get the soybean straw baled up and sold off as well. Again, like I said, we're going to keep the corn stalk bales that we have on that other field that are coming once we finish harvesting that field. We are going to keep those bales. Now, worst case scenario, we get into a really bad pinch, then I'll be completely okay with selling them off. We have some sort of a backup plan. That's kind of the whole point of me keeping those bales as much as I can. Just if we get some calves, we already have everything set up for them. But the fact that our alfalfa and our grass is already regrowing, we're going to be just fine. Spring is going to roll around soon enough. We're going to be making more hay bales. That's the greatest thing about it. Again, another cheat that we could do, honestly, is just do grass bales or wet alfalfa, and we could try to get our hands on a wrapper. Maybe if we get one for sale, or if we just lease one, we could just make some silage for cheap and sell the silage for more money. That was a trick I used back on console on FS15 back in the day. We're gonna go back. Let's make sure I keep the viewers OCD in check here. We're gonna hit these little spots that I missed, and this field's gonna be wrapped up. Soybeans are already done. Boy, it was quick, awfully quick with this 30-foot header. This thing is actually doing a heck of a great number. Oh, we missed a little spot. Don't worry, we got it. And as we're pulling up into the barnyard, it actually looks like the guys, well, they must have stopped. The co-op was here. It looks like they might have finished up that field as well, but they left their piece of equipment. I wonder if they just forgot something or if something was going on. Either way, we're just gonna pull through the grass. Let's set this out to the side for now, get it out of the way. And just like that, we got all of our settings flipped back in the combine, and we are back on corn and doing a lot more. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you all, for saving money like we did, what was that, about $8,000 that we put back into our bank account, I am happy. We're gonna be buying ourselves a 12-row Kinsey planter for this upcoming spring, and we now have a 12-row header for the combine for doing corn. I am honestly really happy so far with everything that we've done on the farm, and hopefully we've kind of knocked out a little bit of our $350,000 problem. Again, we have more equipment, and that 350 grand, that's not even including the equipment that we need for the cattle. We still got to get, TMR mixer, manure spreader, if we're gonna do slurry, just all these things, y'all. And there's a lot more yet that we need to get, and well, hopefully we can kind of break this into little pieces to where we can kind of get this done as effectively as we can while trying to stay out of debt as best as possible. Now, we did just take out that $200,000 loan, and that's pretty much accounted for. So essentially, our income that we calculated out that's going to be coming to us here in January, we're going to have to look again on soybeans. I think those are going to be selling next summer roughly, but so so far what we calculated, pretty much all of our income that we brought in this year on just corn is going to be gone trying to pay off this loan that we did just take out. But I kind of purposely did that. Now, if we can keep that overhead, we should be able to successfully pay off or buy the seed that we need for this upcoming year. Now, we do have the cost of lime on a few fields, and I did look as well. It is looking like we actually don't need any more lime for this year. So that's going to help us tremendously. So we're going to have to get the price. It's going to be a little expensive for the lime, and having the co-op come out, that's going to, you know, add a little bit more on there, but we're going to get that figured out with them as far as how we're going to kind of take care of that. But it should be considerably less than trying to buy any sort of spreader. And I figured even if we leased a spreader, it'd be about the same cost as having the co-op come out anyways. So I think we're going to be doing okay as long as we can hover and stay where we're at. Currently we have $190,000 in the account. If we can hover and just stay around about $100,000, that's going to cover us in case of the emergencies, which is what I'm hoping to do. As long as we can do that, maintain that, and keep the loans to a minimum. I purposely kept ourselves to about $200,000, knowing that I can pretty much have most all of that paid off before next spring even rolls around. And we will have to reassess, because if we need another loan anyways when springtime comes around and we cannot get a planter on sale by then, which I'm hoping we do, but if we don't, it is what it is. We'll be able to take care of it. The planters are going to be about $60,000 from what we were looking at earlier. So most of our $350,000 problem is pretty well contained now at this point, but more to come. This is going to be kind of a wild ride, and I hope that you all are enjoying it. And if you are, make sure you go ahead, tap that thumbs up button for me. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed here to the King May community, make sure you go ahead and tap that button for me now. But we're going to continue on here for a little bit. We're going to get the rest of this field harvested, and well, we're going to get on with our fall tillage. We're going to try and get that all knocked out, but we're going to make sure that we get that recorded up for you guys so you can see that on the next one. But if you all enjoyed, leave me a comment down below. Let me know how this series is treating you all so far, if there's any tweaks, any things that you guys would like to see different. But anyways, I'm going to catch you all on the next one. Peace.